Hey guys, and welcome to this new video. In the last video we have created the database class, and in this video we will try to create the model class, and that will hold all of our database and models, and that will hold everything with interacting with the database. So usually we will not use the database class, but with the database class we will be using in our class mode. So before we get started in the model class, I need to change something in the view function. We have already a view function here. We have already set in the view video. So for that I will change a little bit, and the thing that I want to do is replacing this function, and in place of writing this function in the function.php file, we have already a custom view.php that we need to work with, because the view is like any other model or controller, or it is a core file. So we need to create his own properties and methods in their place. So let's go and make some PHP and make the namespace as up dash core, like everything, and create the class names view, and inside this view we will create the public function. We will make it a public static function that will render our view. Okay, so it is the same like we have here, so now we can delete this, and for that we will add, because we didn't interacting with data and everything is good, we need to add another condition for extracting data to don't have any issue. We need to add a condition to check if the data is not empty, because if the data is not empty we don't have anything to extract, so this will make an error. Okay, and next we will go and delete this function, and if we go to our browser, let's open our browser and open the, okay, let's make it here, open the localhost. I don't know if this is visible or not. I will make it small. Okay, not MVC but LMS dash MVC, and we go to the public folder, and we got some errors. The errors is called to undefined function. Okay, there is two places that can be there this error. The first one is in the view. So here we need to use view dot render home, and like that this will work. And the other place is the home controller. We have already called the view function here. So if we make also here the view dash render home, okay, we need to embed the view, and for that we will use the app dash core view, and voila, everything is good. So now we can go to our video lessons and start working with models. So we'll go to the models file, and we'll create our PHP file with the namespace the app dash core, because it is a core file to keep everything organized. And inside we will use the app dash core dash db, because in models we are interacting with database, so we need to embed the db and use it. Okay, if I go back to our db, for that I will remove this slash, and I will use it here, because if I do user use pdo, I can use pdo like it is in below, without getting an error, and I will get back here and I will define, because the model, we don't want the model class to be initialized or we don't need to create a new object for our class. So we will do this class as an abstract class. We'll make it as abstract class to be just extended and work just with inheritance. And inside this class we will need first a few, we'll need of course a few properties and a lot of methods, of course, because it is our function. So the first thing we need is to make a protected, not id but protected static. We will need to define which table we are going to work with, and the next thing is what is our primary key. So we need a protected static primary key equal to id by default if I did it overwrite it. And the next thing is I will go and I will add a all function that will execute and get all the database. So for that I will define a public, okay, let me close copilot, a public static function, its name will be all, to get all the data in the table, and the query will be like we said in the previous video. It will be select all from our static table. We have already declared which table we have, so static table. Okay, I did it concatenate exit dot. Okay, we need to return as a result the result of the db query, that db query and query, and we need to fetch all to get all the lines, all the rows with the pdo fetch associate. Okay, make a semicolon. This is not 8 but a slash. Where is the error? We have already declared db class, double points, and the pdo, I will use the pdo here, use pdo to avoid the error. Okay, so this is our first function or method, and the next one will be define. For example, in the previous video I did search for an element that has id equal to 1. This will be defined. We will find a record from the table by his id or the identifier and with his primary key. So for that we will make a static, make a public static function. Let's go and tell him that his name is find. We'll pass the id in arguments, and we'll make some query as select all from table, where the condition of getting the element is the id will equal to something, and this will be our id as variable. And this, it will not be the id but it will be, because it can vary from table to another, it can be id, like it can be a code. So we will find the primary key, the name that we have already here, and which is, this will be the static primary key. Okay, and we will return as a result something similar to this, but we will bind in the data, we will bind the self. Okay, we will bind the ID as our ID, and this will not be fetch all because there is one record with this ID, and the query should be something like this. So to test our model, it is a basic model that we can use. So to test those first functions, we can create a new class. Its name as user class, or we can create a custom model and start working with everything in his place. So here we can create the model.php and start our PHP and use the namespace that we want. We will organize all the models inside the app dash models like we do in the controllers, and we'll make a class named user the same as we do in the function file, in the file name, and we will extend the model that we have already developed in our code, and we need to use this model app dash core dash model, and here we need to define, because we said that we need to define our table. If we go back to the model, we make a property that name table, but every time I create a model I need to tell him what table I'm working with. So I will protect it static table. It will be equal to users. Okay, and now after everything seems okay, I will go back to our web.php. This is in our index, so I will go back to our home controller, and here I will print some message. I will remove this and go back to our page. It's empty. So if I use the user, okay, I will print r because it will be return an array, and I will use the user. Okay, it will embed as use app dash model dash users, and the user I will get all the users. Okay, and I will test if it works fine. Okay, we got an error, SQL state syntax error or violation. Okay, it seems like we have an error here. From with 1R, and if I go back and do refresh, you see all the records are there with just a few. We did define a user that extends from model, and we did just bind the user table, and everything worked fine. And to get the first, of course, to get the second user that has ID equal to 2, we'll use the function find with 2 as ID, and if I do refresh, it is here and everything is fine and work properly. Okay, so let's continue this video let's continue this tutorial and model building in the next video.